let's dive in.
So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truths come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday. So last week was a lot for me. I just had the energy and the motivation, and I was like, I'm gonna go, 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 go. And then I crashed out on Tuesday. So I need to start listening to my body a little bit more. And I really just, Tuesday, I really didn't have time for myself, even though you guys did not see me. I was out all day long. Then we had a birthday celebration for 2 of my family members, and I was gone from like 10 a.m. to like almost 12 at night. So that wasn't really a day for me. Yesterday was like the first day for myself. And today, I gotta be honest, I was very tired and kind of like didn't want to come on here tonight either. So if you're just joining us this evening, I'm here. I'm trying to be motivated, but because it's so late and I do have some things to get done still for the day, I am not able to do free readings this evening. That does take up like 15 minutes of my time, and I just wanted to get started on donations as quickly as possible. So I hope you guys understand. I will be back with free readings, later this week. We'll get back to regularly scheduled programming, but sometimes this is going to happen. And yeah, so that's the plan. Amy asked if I'm going to be live tomorrow too. Yes. So for the foreseeable future, I won't be scheduling like much time off, but there are going to be some days where I'm not going to make it. And I think that's one of the perks of working for myself. So for this week, the plan is to work today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be working through the weekend just because I did take 2 days off this week. So yeah, you will see me tomorrow, Amy. I'll also be back Saturday. I'll also be back on Sunday. I will not be here on Monday. I know that for a fact. And then we'll just see next week how the rest of the week next week goes. Hey, SB, welcome in. And eating well. It's funny you say that, Amy, because I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before this live stream. So I was like, I need to eat something. I hadn't eaten since like 3:30. And I was like, yeah, I need to eat something. Hey, IJ, welcome in. Yeah, so like that's the plan. I would literally be here every single day for everybody if I could be, but that's just not humanly possible. And because I had worked so much without any time off, I was like, I need to just take time for myself. And I'm really happy I did it. But I will be here the next 4 days in a row. So if you can't get a reading tonight, I will be here tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll get it done. So we are going to start off with SB first. SB donated for a couple of things. SB, I'm just going to throw your hey up on the screen. I do have your questions, so let me pull those up really quickly. And Amy, I'm sorry, I have not had a chance to like read what you had sent me. It literally just dawned on me today that you sent me a message. Let me read it now real quick. Yeah, Amy, it can probably feel like maybe your grief is being displaced onto this newer person, um, with the way that you're explaining your dreams and the way you're interpreting them. And that's kind of what I had said before, you know, like maybe you're not actually like as into Elias as you think. You're just displacing your grief onto him. I know that it's been over a year, but grief has no time limit. Like it's gonna come back and it's gonna come waves. And I think you just deserve to hold out for someone who's giving you everything, who's giving you like basically how I feel, to be completely honest. I love tarot, don't get me wrong, I really do. Obviously, I would not do this if I didn't feel like it was beneficial. But for me with tarot, I feel like tarot just kind of helps you understand what you want, what you're looking for. It really helps you grow into the person that you need to become to be the best version of yourself, and gives you guidance along the way, and it gives you comfort while you're going through a hard time or a hard process, because it can give you direction, it can give you instruction, it can give you hope. However, when it comes to love relationships, which is what I specialize in, I do feel like if you feel the need to get tarot readings constantly on a particular person, you're probably not being given what you deserve in the relationship, because their intentions would be very clear. You'll find that if you find someone, and granted, there are exceptions, you know, there's times where I was really into tarot and loved like doing tarot on like my relationship and stuff like that. Even though I was in a good relationship, it just was like fun for me. But I find that your inner guidance is going to be so much stronger than what someone else has to say. And if you need to get readings on someone, unless you're seeing strides and improvement every single day and you're coming to me for guidance on how to continue that trajectory, if you're coming to me for clarity on a situation, if you want to know how someone feels or what they're thinking, that's telling me that they're not making their intentions clear to you directly. Not enough, in that you're looking for a way to fill in the gaps or fill in the holes. And I feel like it's almost like a yellow flag, almost, that if you're wanting me to tell you how someone feels about you, then that person's not giving you enough. Now, there are exceptions, because sometimes you meet someone, they're not in the same place as you are, and then eventually they go on to be your biggest love story of your whole life. And you're very grateful that you were patient and that you waited and took your time and things like that. But I feel like as long as you feel with the readings, you walk away feeling like you have some sense of direction and you feel like you are growing as a person yourself and you're discovering more about yourself in the process, I think tarot is an amazing tool for love relationships. What I don't like is random people who will come in here and get a reading from me and they'll ask like how someone is feeling about them, and then they come back and ask like over and over and over, you know. And it's like, well, what has changed? Has anything gone on? Are you guys back in communication? Have they communicated with you? And they're like, no, I literally haven't heard a word from them. And then they'll like come to me like for months and months and months, and I'm like, so you haven't heard this from this person for like 4 months and you want to know like their feelings? Like, move along. Like, move on. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know where I was going with that, but basically, Amy, I think for you, you may have just been displacing your grief a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I don't think you're as attached to this guy as you think you are. I think you're going to move on rather quickly from this person if you have to. Thank you, IJ. I just saw you said you just take care of you. Oh, that's fun. Where did you guys go, Amy? SB, that's fine. Oh, it's another city in Ohio. Oh, Japanese arcade, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, Amy, I mean, if you want to look into that, you definitely can donate. We can see what's going on there. Eliana, I got your donation, friend. Okay, so let's shuffle for SB real quick. Let's get started. First things first, we've got a love spread. Hey, lovely. So you're the first to donate outside of pre-orders. So you technically are first in line. There are 2 people ahead of you, but they're pre-orders. All right. SB and the SB and the SB and the SB and the I forgot to put my glasses on. Need to get those. All right, so how they feel, we have 5 of Swords, True Intentions, Hierophant, What You Want. Sorry. 4 of Pentacles, What They Want. 5 of Wands, What Brings You Together. 4 of Wands, What Pulls You Apart. 2 of Wands, Energy around the relationship. Queen of Swords, What's Hidden. 7 of Cups, and Will the relationship be successful? Page of Pentacles. So for SB, Page of Pentacles, will the relationship be successful? That is a yes for me. Page of Pentacles is the energy of like seeking opportunities and wanting to see different ways around a problem or trying to find new solutions. For how he feels about you, we have the 5 of Swords. I did ask for clarification, and that's the 10 of Wands as well. I feel like he is wanting to kind of move past or end maybe a cycle of like inner conflict when it comes to you. Like, I think that he's looking for answers himself, and I think he just wants to see this play out differently. The 5 of Swords often talks about wanting to have the upper hand, wanting to win, wanting to like find a way to make this work. A lot of times the 5 of Swords can be seen as like a negative card, but Sometimes I view it, especially in this deck, as more like an inner turmoil or an inner conflict or like a mental conflict that he's having with himself. And with the Ten of Wands indicating that he's ready to set this burden down, he's ready to like move forward and see if there's like a different ending to your story that he can have. He wants to like shift out of this like mental space of inner conflict. He wants to see like what new can come from this. And the Ten of Wands in the Light Seers deck, every time I see this, I always think like traveling, especially traveling far. And so I feel like he's in this place of it's now or never. I have to just see what this is, and I have to figure this out. For the true intentions, we have the Hierophant. And so I feel like this is really just talking about wanting to get on the same page with you, wanting to explore all of the things that you guys have in common, and ways in which you guys can maybe start your own way of being. The Hierophant talks a lot about traditions and maybe starting your own traditions, just essentially like finding that little sweet spot where you guys just get on really well and trying to like harness that energy. What you want, we have is the Four of Pentacles. This really talks about like holding on to someone, conserving your own energy, trying not to put too much of yourself out there. Maybe not showing all of your cards. You're more so wanting to have him make the moves and see what he's got going on before you really reveal yourself. But I think you really are holding on to this connection. For what he wants, we have is the Five of Wands. Again, this is another card that sometimes can be perceived as negative. Thank you, Amy. However, in this deck, it indicates people who are saying, here's my challenge that I have in front of me, but I'm going to utilize that to hoist me up, and I'm going to utilize that to overcome. So for example, in this picture, there are people who have a bunch of wands in front of them, i.e. 5 wands in front of them. And instead of looking at them as a block in their path, they are using those wands to lift them higher. They're climbing the wands to get higher, to overcome that challenge. And I feel like that's basically where his headspace is. Like, yes, things haven't always worked out, but we can either let these wands block us, or we can use them and we can overcome. For what brings you together, we have the Four of Wands. For what pulls you apart, we have the Two of Wands. Really, this just indicates that you both have a desire to kind of take things to the next level with one another. You just like never really let one another go in that thought process and that mindset. And the Four of Wands also can talk about like wanting to set a foundation, or maybe because it's what your strength is that you guys have already built a foundation with one another. You guys have history together. What pulls you apart, we have the Two of Wands. It depicts a globe on the card and someone kind of longingly looking out the window. And so I think it's just like the feeling of a lot of space or a lot of distance between you can be perceived as a weakness. The energy around the relationship is very observing. It's trying to figure one another out, but be logical, trying to make more mental moves than emotional ones. So just really approaching this connection with a very realistic mindset. What's hidden, we have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, whenever I see it in this deck, it always reminds me of strategy. It's clarified by the Three of Pentacles. And so that indicates to me that you both want to find ways to make this work. Maybe you don't realize that about him. He doesn't realize that about you. And that is what I've got for your Love Spread SB. Let's go ahead and move on to your BOGO. Okay, Amy, that sounds good. There are 3 people ahead of you. So if I have to, if you're not here, I'll just message you and let you know to come back in the chat if you're not here, okay? Okay. So this is the BOGO. You want to change the first BOGO question. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's shuffle. All right, we're shifting. Okay. This is actually a really sweet question, SB. SB, do you want the perspective of your spiritual team? Do you want to know like how they're viewing you and seeing what they say in terms of like watching over you and, you know, seeing you from a higher perspective and like the overall progress that you're making, or do you want this to come from your child's perspective? We're going to go very vague right now. I'm not going to do from any perspective, just because I'm not sure how you want me to do this. And I don't know if you're in here or able to respond right now. Maybe you're listening. But what I'm going to do is just kind of give you like the general energies. Now, some might sound like they're coming from your kids. Some might sound like they're coming from those that watch over you. But first, the first and foremost thing that's coming out is the 10 of Pentacles. This is indicating to me family first. So your relationship with your child is of utmost importance, and it is felt by everyone around you that this is your priority. I think that I feel like someone is wishing for you to have a family. Someone is wishing for you to feel that you aren't in this alone and that there's someone else that you can lean on and rely on. This could also be your child craving, you know, that additional father figure, if that makes sense. Especially as your kid gets older, there may be like, maybe for the longest time you were all that, you know, your kid needed, but maybe as they're getting older, they're desiring that father figure energy. But I want you to know that you are enough. Like if you are all they have, then that's enough for your child. Now, it's human to want to know more or have a closer relationship with your father, but I think kids know that that's not always going to be the case. And it has the desire for more of like a family unit is not anything reflected on you and the job that you're doing. It's more so just the very human desire that your child may have. I feel like you're a very great communicator. I feel like you're very good at listening to your intuition and knowing what you should and shouldn't do. And I think that you leave the lines of communication very open between you and your child, and that's very important. It's creating a closer bond between the two of you, but making your child feel safe that they can come to you. And why this is important is because if you are mom and dad, you need you to know that without a doubt your child feels comfortable coming to you because they don't have anyone else to go to in that way. So just creating that very like open line of communication, them feeling safe to communicate with you. I think also you're serving as like a guide for your child as well. So you are protecting your child spiritually, materially, mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. And whenever your child feels like they don't know what to do or where to turn or how to feel, you're that place of comfort for them that helps them understand what those answers are. There is some type of sadness that maybe your child is witnessing or someone around you is witnessing. It's like maybe a loneliness because we have the 5 of Cups. And so I just want you to be aware that there are times where your child may be picking up on things that you may not even be trying for them to know or understand or see or feel or whatever when it comes to you. I think that you put on a great face, and I think that you do everything you can to protect your child. But we also have to remember that we can't hide everything from them. And so there are things that your child knows that maybe or sees, witnesses, or just has a feeling about. And that has to do with your mental state as far as your loneliness or your desire for a partner. You're extremely independent. 9 of Pentacles, that's teaching your child a lot of lessons. I think you're the exact mom that your child needs. Like there's nothing that it's like you guys were like perfectly crafted for each other. I know that there's like a saying where it talks about like our child picks us for a particular reason. And I think that that's absolutely the case here. I think that you would do anything for your kid, including laying down your life if you needed to. I see here with the Knight of Swords, just like if your kid needs you, you are there immediately without question. And to be honest, I don't think that let's just say the father was in the picture more, or maybe you met someone a long time ago, the dynamic would be completely different. Like you and your child would have like a different relationship. It would not be better. It wouldn't be worse. It wouldn't be anything really, but different. And so I feel like it's important to also cherish the closeness that you guys have because of the situations that you guys have been through. I see you providing a lot of healing for your child, encouragement, and for them to be who they are, as well as provide a lot of inspiration to them as well. So you probably, like, for instance, if your kid was like a little comedian, you might encourage for them to pursue that. Or if they have any like artistic talent, you would encourage them to do that. Whatever it is that it's like you enjoy watching them grow into their own person, their own personality, their own opinions. You don't try to like force yourself onto them. I see you second guessing yourself sometimes or wishing you could have provided something different, but I feel like it's exactly how it was supposed to be. And lastly, we have the 4 of Swords. That kind of just goes back to you being your child's safe place. And I feel like you protect them against a lot of things that, like, essentially you're just like a mama bear kind of, you know? All right, so let's look at your second question about this upcoming trip. And IJ, you are next. I'm wrapping up SB's last reading right now. If you want to post your question whenever you're ready, that would be great. Okay, so I gotta be honest, SB, and this was a while ago that we did this, so honestly, like, I don't fully remember exactly what I said. Hold on, sorry. I had to grab my glasses. But I do remember there's a little bit of a elephant in the room, or like a cloud over your trip. And I'm getting a lot of like those cards where it's like, I feel like it starts off well, and I think it might even end well, but I think that there's going to be like some weird thing that happens during the trip. So let me explain. In the beginning, we have the Page of Swords and we have the Two of Swords. So both of you going into this, not really knowing what to expect, what to think of the other person, how is it going to go, hoping that it goes amazingly, hoping that you get all the answers you're looking for, but really going into it feeling kind of blind and a little uncertain. And the Page of Swords talks about how you're probably going to be feeling like, I need to get information. This is my time. It's now. I need to get clarity. And it's almost like so anxious that's like you don't want to ruin your trip, but at the same time, you know that it's all going to be like niceties and like cordial and social civil situations with this person, but it's going to come to a head. So you might, depending on how much time you have, might want to spend the first day or the first couple of hours just kind of like reacclimating with one another and, you know, just trying to kind of enjoy one another's company. But I think there is going to get to a time where you are going to feel like, I need to know. I need answers. I need to ask questions. I need to see, like, once and for all, is this going to go well for us or is it not? And I almost feel like you guys have like this, I don't know what it is. It's like, feels like it's in a hotel room or something. It feels very much like one-on-one, where you guys are sitting down, like having a conversation. And this goes on for a very long time, where you're like, you know, I was really happy to see you, happy to spend time with you, happy that, you know, we were able to go do this together or whatever. But like, I don't think that I can really relax or enjoy my trip until we like really have a conversation about what we're doing here. And then I think it kind of snowballs. And I think you start releasing feelings that maybe you've been holding back for him. He's been doing the same. There might be some hard truths that are spoken, you know, and really depending on how you guys handle this will determine how the rest of your trip goes. The reading ends with the Empress and the Six of Pentacles. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of growth for the both of you that happens on this trip. And with the Six of Pentacles, it makes me feel like you guys are giving and taking equally. You feel like it's not just you that's trying to like pull information out. He's willing to give you answers. And I feel like maybe you do walk away with that clarity that you need. I think that the trip is generally worth it. I think there's no regrets. I think that you're very happy that this happens and that you guys have gone through with this, because it feels almost like a turning point for your connection. And like a necessary thing, almost like the Six of Swords, like a necessary rite of passage, the need to go through this in order to come out the other side with better understanding of where you guys are at. Now, the quicker you can get to this conversation and the sooner you can have it, the more free time you'll have to really enjoy one another's company. But I feel like it's almost like you don't want to jump into it too fast, because you want to, you know, it's been a while since you've seen this person, but then also you're in this place where you're kind of like, okay, but this is literally going to be hanging over my head the whole time, and I need to just kind of get this out of the way. And so I think because of that, and because this is such a big trip, that it's almost like the focus is on that conversation. And like you'll also be kind of like thinking about it for a while after, like even after he flies back, you guys go your separate ways for however long that is. I think it's just really something, a trip that's really going to stand out in your mind to have made like a huge impact on your life, basically. So SB, that is what I've got, girl. Let's move on to IJ. All right, so me and her actually spoke again this evening. Ooh, nice. But do our spiritual teams feel okay with you knowing? Let's see. They want you to know that they're trying their best. I mean, as you know, with like spirit, they can't interfere with free will. They can try to influence you. They can try to kind of bring a notion up in your mind frequently, but it's like a whisper. It's definitely like a lower sound than some other feelings that we might experience. That's why people have such a hard time deciphering between like intuition and fear. Fear is loud. Fear is all consuming. It's like basically fear would scream at you. And spirit is more gentle, more quiet, it's more soft. But they are trying as much as they can to influence her, to overcome the past, to let go of it, to allow for more energy and for more love in her life. And I feel like they're trying to maybe show her or manipulate her reality to show to her that she should accept more love, that she should be focusing on a relationship, that now it's time to kind of put herself first in a different way. And so they might be showing her more things on social media that have to do with relationships. They might be making her have like a sudden like interest in rom-coms. They might be doing things that are kind of maybe putting relationships a little bit more front and center, like in front of her face, because I think that she has always been so hyper focused on other areas of her life, travel, career, friends, whatever. And I feel like they're kind of trying to bring her attention to, okay, but if you want love, this is what your focus should be on. And I truthfully feel, IJ, that like she probably went a big portion of her life thinking like love just isn't my top priority. It's like I think she wants to be a mom and I think she wants to get married, but I feel like that's never really been like top for her. I feel like it's something that's always kind of been in the back of her mind, as something she knew she'd want to do or have or experience eventually. But it was never that top priority to her. Hey, Mystic, thank you so much I'm going to update the list momentarily, Mystic, but I want to let you know we do have 2 people ahead of you, 3 if you include the reading I'm doing right now. So if you'd like to drop your question below, that would be great. If you think you're going to be able to stick around until it's your turn, then just wait it out and I'll call on you in a little while. So IJ, I think what's happening is that she's having these almost like these aha moments, these epiphanies, these light bulb, whatever, revelation. And I feel like she's kind of being shown, like suddenly having this like new desire that's kind of arising for a relationship. And that could be too why it's kind of taken so long for her for things to really move along for your connection, because I think that it just wasn't, it was of interest, but it wasn't of priority. And I think unless something feels urgent or something feels like it's something you need to do right now, you're going to be like, I'll get to it. You know, that's how humans live their life. Like if it's not an emergency. So I feel like right now it's not an emergency, but I definitely, Spirit's giving me the analogy of like a medical condition. Like right now she's getting the warning signs from her body that something's got to change, and if she keeps ignoring it, the situation's going to get worse and worse and worse, and eventually she's going to have to go to the hospital and it's going to become an emergency, and then she's going to be like, holy shit, I need to do something about this. So I think right now she's kind of in like those beginning stages of like recognizing that there is that interest and there is that longing for something more. So when it comes to what Spirit feel okay with you knowing, is that they want you to know that there has been this shift that is starting to happen with her, where she's clearing the energy to start allowing more love into her life. She's noticing relationships more, almost like the law of attraction is coming in for her, and it's like kind of in her head now about relationships and the feeling that she needs to have faith that what she wants is going to happen, that her dreams can come true. Part of her kind of putting a romantic connection on the back burner might have also been stemming from fear, because if she felt like it wasn't ever going to happen for her, she might as well just not want it. And that could have been almost like a coping mechanism for her as well. In terms of speaking to you and communicating with you, there's a recognition here that she has for you. I think that she knows that there's something big here, that we have moments where we meet people in life, or we have moments where we're like, I don't really know what this is, but I have a feeling it's going to be important. And I feel like that's how she's viewing you. She's like, I don't really know what this is, but I can't help but feel like this is big. Like I can't help but feel that this is important. And like that this person is going to make an impact on my life one day. And you don't really know how to explain it, you know? You don't really know how to put it into words, but it's like she just feels like there's something here that's big, and it's going to like impact her life in some way. So yeah, IJ, that is what I have for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. I love the first BOGO question insight you gave. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm also happy that you changed your question, because I love answering stuff like that. It was a pleasure. I'm so happy I was able to do those readings for you, SB. You're welcome, IJ. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you again for your support. Okay, so next up we have Lovely with a channeled message, I think. Oh my god, I just realized I have 16 text messages. What is going on? Channel message from M. Channel message from M. All right, girl. I'm going to put this on the screen. Give me a few minutes to channel. I will come back when I'm about halfway done, and then we'll read and send, okay? You know the drill. The last channel message. Maybe tear-eyed. Aww. Like, damn emotions he showed me there. I know. That's like the tough part is it's like, why can't you do this in person? Why can't you show me these things? Paula, hey girl, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I feel like he comes through as the King of Wands quite a bit. And I just pulled that again. You're doing well. Glad I'm doing well. Paula, it's always so nice to have you in the chat. You're such a like positive presence. Oh, it looks like we got a couple more donations as well. So let me update the list really quickly. All right, there's the new list for everyone. Skips are open right now because I don't have any pre-orders left on the list. So if anybody wants to skip ahead, it's $5 to do so. If you don't want to lose your spot, you can donate $5 too, and I'll hold your place. Thank you, Amy. Paula donated to Skip. Oh, okay, Amy, that sounds great. Thank you. Sounds good, lovely. I've got you. And we'll get to your in-depth reading next, okay? After this, you're taking a little tarot hiatus. Okay, I fully understand and respect it. All right, we're about halfway done. All right, lovely. I got your message. The message is, I've thought about writing you more times than I can count. I think about you so much and it's not in passing. I intentionally think of you too. It's like your energy is still in the background of everything. The time we spent together wasn't nothing to me, it was magic. You saw me in a way I wasn't ready for, raw, open, and honest. At the time, while we were in it, that felt so good, but after, I think I panicked and sabotaged. The realness scared the hell out of me. I feel like I can't lie to myself anymore or make excuses because the truth is, I let something beautiful slip through my fingers and I've been holding the weight of that decision like a stone on my chest. Yeah, it's really sweet. Lovely. Whenever you're ready, just drop your in depth question as well. For the in depth, what synchronicities could he be receiving about me at this time? Ooh, that's cool. Amy, oh my god. Oh no. You'll probably have to throw that thing in the wash. Not the earring, but the bag. Mostly because I know that I have been seeing some shit that makes me be like, oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you want to like wash your earring, but I just mean like the bag itself probably needs a wash too. But cleaning out your purse just feels so good for your mental health. It's like one of the best things you can do for your mental health, at least for me. Every time I have a clean purse to work with, I'm like, this is the best feeling ever. So not really a synchronicity, lovely. I'm kind of picking up on signs right now. Maybe I'll pick up on a synchronicity at some point. But the sign that I'm getting is that, like, when he's falling asleep, I don't necessarily know if he dreams about you. I think he does. But it's more like just like as he's about to fall asleep, there's like that wave right between being awake and falling asleep, and it's like all of a sudden, boom, your face, like just before he falls asleep. And it's like when he's alone, when he's spending time alone, you're there like the most, you're there like the heaviest for him. But I'm picking up on something like just before he falls asleep, you like just show up in his mind's eye. And not that he like jolts awake, but I think sometimes he does and he's like, what the hell was that? But it feels like almost like this vision or something. It's so weird. I think also too, like, not to be like graphic and explicit here, but like, everyone has moments where they're feeling a little more turned on. And I feel like he's finding himself like, wow, this is going to be graphic. I'm sorry. When he's watching Corn, he's gravitating towards women that look like you. When he is self-pleasuring, he is thinking of you. And this is, again, not a synchronicity, but this is more like signs to him that he knows that you are still very, very, very much around in his mind, is because he's almost like unconsciously doing things and then suddenly realizing, holy shit, this is about her. And then he'll like move on with his life and then be like, here she is again. And so I suppose it could be almost like a subconscious synchronicity in a way, because it's like two unrelated things are happening and he doesn't realize it until after the fact. This is good. That's why I specifically asked you, because you would get it. So it's like, yeah, that expression of living rent free in his head is definitely something that's happening. And the thing is that he's not intentionally doing it. That's the thing. Like, there's times where he thinks of you that are intentional, but like these signs that he's getting, he's just like living his life. And then afterwards goes, what was that? Like, what was that? I feel like, here, let me see. Is there anything else I'm getting from this card before I pull? It's just like you're behind his eyes. I don't know how else to explain that. I feel like he's finding himself wishing that he had you around, and even in situations where he never really thought that it would matter. For example, if he's having a challenging day, he thinks of you because he thinks to himself, if this didn't get ruined and things didn't like fizzle out as fast as they did, I know she would be the kind of person that would support me. I know that she would be the kind of person that would be there for me to help me through. And I kind of screwed that up, and now I'm here alone. and just having to go through these challenges alone. And I feel like he thinks of you in moments like this because he's witnessing the real time absence of you, and not being in his life is like, wow, this really, if I played my cards differently, if this just went differently, like maybe I wouldn't be alone in this. Because I think that he views you as a very empathetic person and very compassionate. And again, he keeps saying time and time again how you see him for who he is. And that feels really good in the moment, but scary afterwards. And he's in this place saying, like, she would get me. She'd understand, like, my situation or my predicament. And so I find that he's longing for you in the times where he's heavily feeling you not being there. Saying living his life in corn in the same breath I'd be in tears. Oh my god. I saw his friend passed away, but I didn't reach out. I didn't think it was the right time. Oh, maybe that's what I'm picking up on. Like where he's having a challenging time, wishes you were there with him. Yes, he told me how he loved how calm I am and everything about me was so soothing. Like he's looking for like that nurturing. He's looking for that comfort that you can provide to him. And then I think hold on, it's on full message. Give me 1 second. So like there's something that he does every day as well. Oh, yeah. God, that's hard. I'm sorry to hear that about that situation. So when he's doing like everyday things, like for example, for me, my synchronicity might come watching TV because that's something that I do quite a bit. And I think for him, it might be something different, whatever his like hobbies are. Like if he likes playing video games, if he likes spending time with friends, because I have 3 pentacles here. But there's something that he does pretty often as like, maybe it's listening to music. Like it's something that he does and he's getting those synchronicities. Like he's hearing your name a lot, or randomly like a song that reminded him of you in the past is like playing again. Does that make sense? So and it's like very, very specific. It's like very niche, and it's like freaking him out because it's not like something that he hears or sees every single day. And it's just like, how can this be possible? Like, so for example, if there's a certain song that he thinks of you, all right, so he's like in his friend's car and like that song will play and he's like, that's really weird. And then he'll go and say they go to eat somewhere, and then they get out of the car and go into the restaurant, and that same song is playing like an hour later somewhere completely different. Like that kind of thing is what I'm saying. It's like almost so coincidental that it's like, how is this a coincidence? Like this is just too eerie. It's too freaky. And so I think like that kind of stuff happens to him too. Yeah. So lovely. That is what I have for you, friend. I know that you said you probably would be pulling back on readings, but if we see you again soon, that's great too. But I hope you enjoyed these readings. You're welcome, lovely. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Even if you don't get readings, definitely swing by and say hi if you see me. Yeah. See ya. Okay, So next up we have Paula. Paula paid to skip, so that's why she's next. Pay to skips are open. They're $5 to do so. You cannot skip ahead of someone who has paid to skip, but you can move up the line above anyone else. If you're worried about being skipped, you can donate $5 to hold your place. But as of right now, the order is Paula, Amy, Mystic, and SB. All right, so Paula says, where will I be meeting this new Emperor or King of Cups? All right, Paula, it's somewhere you've been before. We have the Six of Cups. So definitely somewhere you've been before. Let's see. I'm getting, Paula, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm getting like Coachella vibes from this Four of Wands. So I feel like it's somewhere that is like, has music playing, maybe dancing. This could be a like concert hall. It can be a festival. But I'm kind of getting like the vibe that there's like music and dancing and celebration and like a lot of people around. This could be a dance class. This could be like a club. It could be, just imagine like the vibe is there's music. It's a leisure. It's extracurricular, basically. It's like essentially something that you go to do for fun, you go to do for pleasure. I am seeing like water as well, so that could have something to do with it. It could be like at the beach where music is playing, people are having fun. Just think about places that you go where you go to relax and enjoy yourself and maybe eat some food and listen to some music, or there's dancing. It just feels like there might be some kind of like live show element to it as well. But it's a place you've been before is what I'm getting, a place you have been to before. Now, if this is completely new to you and you're like, I remember her saying that I had been there before, but I met this person who seems amazing and I had never been there before, that might be somewhere where the person you meet frequents. Like they might say to you, I come here all the time. So it might be new to you, but to them it's not. To some degree, either with you or him or you both, you guys have been here before and it's a place that you have spent time in the past. And I feel like, I know you didn't ask when, but I feel like this happens summertime because I'm getting like part indoor, part outdoor vibes. So it's like kind of, there might be like covered areas, but there's also like outside seating or outside places where you like have entertainment or you entertain. Let's see. Is there anything else that I'm picking up on? The place definitely costs money to go, to get there, to get in. So it's not some place that's free. So it's not going to be like a park. Okay. It's not going to be like somewhere where you go where, so for example, like where I'm at, like you could go to the zoo for free, you can go to like a park for free, you can go to a library for free. Like there's just like places that you can go for free. To me, it feels like this is a place where you go to spend money. So you either have to spend money to get in the door, or while you're there, you have to anticipate that you will be spending money, whether that's on drinks or food or whatever. I think people that go, they dress like very elaborately. Like I think that's why I was picking up on Coachella Not that you're going to go to that per se, and it's probably not that at all, but it's kind of the vibe where people can just be like authentically who themselves. They can wear what they want. There could even be like costumes involved, or just like very like intricate, very thought out, very specific types of clothing. Something that kind of just shows off like who they are, and just very unique, very individualized attire, if that makes sense. There might be like body art, body jewelry, things like that. And I have Death and I have the Tower. So this talks about like a big transformative experience, something that you feel like you feel like your life is changed now that this has happened. Like you feel like you've come out the other side of this experience like a different person. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you, Paula. It sounds fun. It's definitely like feels like a fun atmosphere for sure. Does that answer your question, Paula, or would you like to add on to your reading? Thank you. I appreciate your reading. You're welcome, Paula. Have a great night, friend. It was so good seeing you. All right, Amy, you are next. All right, guys, this is the new order of the list as we have it right now. We're working on Amy at the moment. Amy, did you go to Canada? All right, so I know you said you kind of felt something has shifted with Elias, changed his mind, feels really different. No, has shifted, like Elias changed his mind or feels really distant or something. So I wanted to ask if this is the case, how does Elias view you and feel towards you now because of this shift? Whatever it may be. Okay. How does Elias view and feel towards Amy now because of this shift? I just have a Canadian coin. It might be something that someone gave to you as like a change and didn't realize that it was like Canadian money. Do you know what I mean? That's happened to me sometimes. Like if I bring cash somewhere and they'll give me like coin change, sometimes it's not even American money. Okay. So Amy, one thing I want to tell you is so far you're playing it very, very cool. I don't think that he suspects your frustration at all. I think that for you, like how he views you is like if he would say, I feel like she's definitely showing her interest in me, and I can tell that she kind of wants something more from this. And for a little while, I was interested or thought this might be something that I would want, because the connection between the two of us was like really exciting. And I just felt like she was a little older, a little more experienced, and like I just was having fun shooting the shit. She has great humor. She understands me. She kind of like gets me on a certain level that I feel like I just haven't really found before. At this point, I know that I've been pulling back, and that's just because it's how I feel I need to be right now. But I feel like she's okay. Like I can kind of tell that she might be a little disappointed that I'm not giving as much or I'm not giving more to this, but I really think that she's okay. I think that she's fine. So what I'm getting from that, Amy, is that he views you as someone who like was genuinely trying to give it your best shot to try to find a way to kind of get close to him and connect with him. But he doesn't feel like you're being clingy or desperate or overly like attached. So however it is you're communicating with him has definitely showed him that you have interest in him, but because he's not being very enthusiastic in his response, you kind of pulled back yourself. And I think that he like appreciates that or something. So it's like from his perspective, you played it cool. I think that he's more worried about how he came across to you, and like he didn't want to like hurt your feelings or like lead you on or anything like that. So I think he's kind of like, Amy put in, or whatever he calls you, put in adequate effort into this connection. Because I wasn't reciprocating, she pulled back as expected. Like, I don't think he blames you. I don't think he feels that you're in the wrong in any way. Like, he just doesn't blame you for anything. And I feel like he's more focused on his own feelings right now. He's a little more self-absorbed. So I feel like he's a little bit more worried about like himself and how things are going for him to even like worry about you. So I think if you kept going, I think if you kept like trying to like reach out and like find ways to hang out and find ways to see each other, and he felt like you were just like hanging all over him at the party and things like that, then yeah, I think that he would have a different opinion. But you've been doing really like a really good job kind of just detaching yourself from the situation and kind of like keeping your distance while giving a valiant effort to try to say, hey, like if it's not me and you actually do want to hang out, let's hang out. And because you felt like he wasn't giving like the eagerness or enthusiasm that you wanted from him, you kind of pulled back. And I think he's at this point where he's like, she's good, she's cool, like she totally understands. And he's not thinking negatively about you whatsoever. I think he just thinks to himself, she liked me, she kind of was interested, I didn't really give much back to her, and now she's walking away, like typical. Like I think that he just feels like you're acting as anybody would if they weren't being given that same energy. Yeah, so maybe it would be for the best, Amy, that you kind of just let things rest. Because what you don't want to happen, and maybe this could be partly his concern here, is that he knows that you're friends with Crystal, and he knows that he's going to be seeing you a lot. And I think that maybe partly his concern is for the sake of the friendship that he has with your friend group, not wanting to like do anything to jeopardize it. So I think that what he's trying to do is just like be the nice guy. He's really trying to do what's right and fair. And I think that's why you're still getting responses from him. Like when he says like, I guess, or sure, or whatever, it's because he's trying to just keep the peace. But I think that he's trying to kind of say, read between the lines, this is where my head is at right now. So I think that he respects the fact that you pulled back, and that you're giving him his space. I think that he is like very appreciative of it. And I think as long as you continue down this path of like letting him go, letting him do his thing and figure things out for himself, I think that would probably be best. If anything changes and he decides to pursue you and that's something you're ready for at that time, then great. But I think right now this is just where it's going to be. And like I said, I think it's very possible that he's pulling back a little bit just due to his guilt, because it feels almost like his strength or his relationship with this other person is getting stronger. And I think what he's worried about is if he does happen to bring her around the friend group and you happen to be there, he does not want anything to get in the way of this other connection or anything bad to happen. So I think he's trying to keep his distance so that he can feel like he did the right thing. And so it's just a lot of guilt that I think he feels right now. And I think he's just kind of viewing you as someone who's like tried and then like validly gave up and moved on because you weren't getting anything in return. You said, well, thank God I don't seem like that because I feel like that. No, I think that he just is like, she tried. Like, she had interest in me and she shot her shot. And, like, I just don't think that he really, like, blames you. I think that if you kept going with it, like, if you were still reaching out to him this week and next week and however long, and you just kept, like, communicating, I think he would get to the point where he'd get kind of annoyed. But at the same time, that's kind of his fault for not being very clear with you. Like, I think that if he had said, look, Amy, I'm talking to someone new. I've been talking to them for a while. I know that we kind of had a thing or like a moment with each other, spending some time together, but I realized since then that's not the direction I want to go. I do want to put all of my effort into this other person. I hope you understand. I feel like you'd be like, okay, cool. But I think that some people just don't know how to express their feelings. They don't know how to be direct. Amy, to be honest, the night that he spent with you at the time when he was in the moment, I think he did enjoy it. But I think that looking back on it, he kind of maybe wishes it didn't happen, because I think that he feels a lot of guilt for whatever reason for that night. He feels like he gave into something that maybe he wasn't mentally ready for. And so I don't think that he looks at that night the way that you do or the way that you did. Yeah, I can understand. It's hard to let things go when you feel that you have a good connection, but at the same time, just because he's moving on or like distancing himself doesn't mean that you guys had a bad connection. I don't want you to invalidate the connection was good, because the connection was good and it was what it was. All I'm saying is that he has feelings otherwise that are stronger than what you guys had going on, and he feels for whatever reason the need to back away. Like, you guys have a really good connection. It may not be the strongest that he has going right now. And I think, he's young. You shouldn't expect him to be direct. Totally. Yeah. Yeah, Amy, I mean, like I said, he felt like you guys connected on a mental level, like he really felt a strong connection to you in that way, and he felt like he's never really experienced that before. Like someone who just kind of gets him, understands his humor. Like there was definitely something there. Like it's not just in your head. I just don't know if it was the love match that you wanted it to be. I think so, Amy. Yeah. And I think he also feels loyalty to Crystal too. And I don't think Crystal would want to stand in the way of your connection with him. But I think that he also can kind of see how, if things didn't really work out with you, how that can complicate the friend group. I know. I'm sorry. Amy, let me know if you want to add on for anything or if that answers your question. Then I'm going to move on to who do I have next? Mystic. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Let me grab those real quick. Mystic, if you're in here, you are going to be next. And I have you down for an in-depth reading. If you can, get your question ready to go for me so that way we can get to you next. And then after Mystic, we have SB. That might be the last reading of the night. But I'm going to leave it open for a few more minutes. Planning on cutting my hair tonight, so I hope I'll have time. Hey, Mystic. You're cutting your hair, Amy? That's funny. Yeah, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for a cut. Need to get it done. All right, message cards from Elias to Amy. First thing he says is, I have too much to lose. So I think that's dead on. That he feels like he's got something going on with someone else and he's worried about losing that. And I think that the connection that you guys made kind of imposed on that a little bit or threatened that a little bit. And I think he's very worried about this. So I think that his guilt is kind of making it so that you feel him even pulling away more. Because I think he's very clear, Amy, on what it is that you want from him. He just wasn't clear on what he wanted from you. And I think that that clarity came pretty quickly. And I think that that's where you started to feel that shift start to happen. And also, I have too much to lose, as I mentioned before, is that he may also be worried about your friend group. And that if he ever did pursue you at some point, even if this other person wasn't in his life, that it could threaten the friend group as well, especially if something did not work out with you. Then the next card I have here is, I wish I had treated you better. So I think maybe he knew in the moment that, I don't know, like I said, I feel like he was thinking with his D than he was with his actual head. I think that that night he was just like not in his right mind. So he says, I wish I had treated you better. He says, I don't know what I want. So he still may be a little confused about what he wants from this connection. If he wants friendship or if he wants nothing. He says, I don't know how to feel. I agree, Amy. I'm glad you guys didn't go further than that. He says, you didn't see how stressed this made me. And then at the end, the timing wasn't right for us. That's spot on. That's actually kind of crazy. That's what I said. So I have too much to lose. I wish I had treated you better. I don't know what I want. I don't know how to feel. Wait. Oh no, I put the card back. What did you say? You don't know how stressed this made me. You don't know how stressed this made me. And then the timing just wasn't right for us. You sent for a 5 and I just pulled an extra card for you. Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure. All right, let me pull a couple more for you here. Okay. All right, he said, I can't reach out. I don't react when people mention you. So maybe he's trying to keep these feelings to himself. He says, I couldn't let you get close to me. I see life differently now. And let's just give you one more for funsies. I hope I didn't hurt you. So I don't react when people mention you. I couldn't let you get close to me. I can't reach out. I can't do this. I see life differently now, and I hope I didn't hurt you. Hey, leave it alone, Bodhi. I gotta go get my cat. He's getting into stuff right now. I don't want to get up. I wonder if I have something I can like throw on the floor. You said this is very a moon card. And it almost feels like he knows I'm a temptation, which makes sense. Which makes sense of the whole thing pulling away and just focusing on the connection he had already started. Yep, 1000%. Definitely, definitely. All right. So next up we have Mystic. You can hold on to that, Amy. You're so funny. All right, we also got another donation on Cash App from someone. If you're in here, please let me know if that was you. And I'll add you to the list. All right. Amy, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night. All right. Is it a bad idea to get involved with Blake? Let's see. Hey, Gemini. Thank you. I got your question on Cash App as well. So if you want to stick around for your turn, that's great. And if not, I will get it when I get to your turn, and then you can come back and listen. Or if you're here, you can listen live. Bodhi baby, you need to go lay down. You're just getting into everything. You're welcome, Amy. I hope you have a great rest of your night. That sounds good. Well, it sounds like you have a very productive evening ahead. This is for Mystic. So Mystic, I'm getting a yes. I have the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords. So Three of Swords indicates like a lot of pain ahead that could happen. Or maybe just like a lot of like turmoil, frustration, or confusion that you could put yourself through by moving forward with Blake or getting involved with this person. The Three of Cups does on occasion indicate third party energy, but this card really just focuses and talks on like how you think it might go really well, and it might be really exciting in the beginning, something to celebrate, a new connection, all of that. But because the Three of Swords is here, it indicates that it's probably not going to end very well. I also have what you should do or what the advice is, and I have the Page of Swords, and it's stating to learn more about this, do your research, get more information, get more of an informed decision. Whether that be like having conversations with Blake, going on dates with Blake, maybe, but trying to just basically like learn as much as you can about this person before actually pursuing a connection. A lot of times people can have like a crush or an interest in someone, and that's all they see, and they don't really get to know the person. And with the Emperor here, it also indicates to me, don't make any sudden moves, don't make like any jerk reactions, don't move impulsively or hastily. The Emperor really just sits back and observes and doesn't really do much. It's very, very steady. So I feel like the advice here is don't make any sudden moves right now towards this person. Really just do your research. Mystic, I can pull a couple more cards for you if you'd like me to, since you paid for an in-depth. So let me know if you have a secondary question to this, or if there's anything that you need clarified. Makes sense. Okay, good. Oh, okay. You work with him is just another reason. So like that's actually putting you in like a really sweet spot, if I can be honest, Mystic, is to really get to know this person, because you're in a very like opportune situation where you don't really have to put yourself out there, as in having like one-on-one text conversations or going on a date with this person and really kind of like putting yourself out there. You actually have like a unique opportunity where you can get to know this person and see how they operate from a distance, because you work with them. So you can see them every single day and kind of learn about them, and even very nonchalantly have casual conversations with them to understand them. Basically, Spirit is just essentially saying like they don't want you to act impulsively here. They want you to really just like do your research. You know what I mean? Um how does he currently view Mystic? He is having a hard time understanding you because he feels like at a distance, you're very like lively and free spirited and laughy and jokey and funny. But then there are times where you're like very guarded. And I think that he's saying like I don't really know how to read her, because like there are times where I feel like she's just definitely like open and fun and a free spirit. Maybe you're just like laughing and joking and having a good time, but then there are times where he kind of sees you and you're just like very maybe like hyper focused on your work, not really paying attention to your surroundings, or maybe even with him you give off this like hot and cold vibe, and so he's like not really sure how to take you. But with the sun here, I definitely feel like more than anything he does feel like you're very radiant physically. What he's learned so far about you, he feels like you're a really good person, you have like good morals, you have a good foundation basically, of good values. He, for whatever reason, thinks that you might be a very generous person. We have the Six of Pentacles. This indicates like giving and receiving. So maybe like you're really good at like banter as well. So like if someone dishes it out to you, you can give it right back, if that makes sense. But this can also talk to your generosity and your open heart and just being like a very good person in general. I feel like he feels like communication is a strength for you. So you might be very witty or able to think on your feet. But again, like I said, there are times where he feels like you are very like reserved and keep things to your close to your chest. Like he's not really sure how to figure you out. But I think that he looks at you very positively. And like I said, I just feel like he views you as someone who's just like really radiant. Like you're very glowing. You're very pretty. I think he looks at you as someone who is attractive. You said, oh my God, that's true. I think I would just be friendly. I just don't want people to start rumors. That's why I focus on my work. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think maybe just use this opportunity that you have while working with him to like get to know him more. You're in like a very like sweet spot, like I said, because you don't really have to put yourself out there and you still can get to know this person a little bit more. But what I worry about is like the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords, which maybe you'll learn more about later. It indicates to me that I feel like Spirit is just encouraging you not to make like any sudden moves, like no confessing feelings or interest or anything like that right now until you've gotten more information. Mistake, hopefully that answers your question. You're more than welcome to add on before I move on to the next person, but if that satisfies your readings for the night, I do appreciate you. That's good. You're welcome. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Hopefully we see you back soon. All right, so next up on my list, I have SB. So I've got a in-depth and some messages. All right, that sounds like a plan. Let's put SB on the screen real quick. SB, if you're in here, let me know. We're about to get started on yours, your add-ons. All right, and then after SB, we have the Gemini. That might be it for the night. I am going to leave the list open for a little while longer, but once we get through these readings, if no one else comes in, then I will just go ahead and sign off for the night. So first question for S is an in-depth reading, wanting to know what he's hoping for to happen on the trip and for your connection. All right, well, let's start with the trip. What's he hoping for to happen with the trip? He is hoping that you will let him in. He's coming from the perspective, oh, hey girl. He's coming from the perspective that you are a bit guarded. You're a little protective of your heart. And I think that he feels energetically that you keep him at a distance. Like, I know that that's not necessarily what you want from this, but it's like your own way of like protecting yourself or preserving your feelings and stuff. But he can sense it. Like, and it's not that he feels that's invalid. He's like valid for her to be doing this, but I think that he still feels like he hasn't really found a way like in yet. And I think honestly, you might be feeling the same way about him, to be completely honest. But he's hoping for you to give him the key and him to give you the key, and you guys are not just like these people living on the outside of one another's life, that you feel like you're letting each other in. And maybe behind that door, there's more doors that he's going to have to work for to get through, but at least the first door will be opened and he will be let in a little bit more than usual. I think he wants to feel like he's like a steady fixture in your life. Like he wants to feel like you see him like a king, like you see him like someone who's taking the lead, like you respect and admire and are turned on by his mind, by what he can provide, by who he is as a person. And I think that he just wants to be in your life for a long time. And I think that he's really hoping on this trip that you see the value that he can provide to you through these things, through these aspects of his personality. With the Fool, I think he's really hoping for like a new start. I think he's wondering how this is going to go with the Two of Wands, but with the Fool, I think he's hoping for a new beginning. I think he's saying, let's just put the past in the past and let's start fresh. Let's really like give this a shot. Let's give this a chance. He's hoping in the connection that you both move forward with clarity, but also he doesn't really want to rush into something either, because I think that in his mind, he's like, this is my last chance and I want to do it right. I want to make sure that we're both on the same page every step of the way. And so he probably is not going to try to sleep with you or anything right away. He's probably going to let a couple trips under his belt first, or seeing him a few times before he tries to make that kind of move. I think maybe right now for your connection and for the trip itself, he really just wants to feel like you both are just on the same page. Like you guys are giving each other the clarity that you need. Temperance really talks about like even if there's a lot of attraction, he's going to really try to have self-discipline and have self-control. I can tell he wants to be a consistent force in my life, which is really nice. Yes, he just wants to be like steady, and he wants you to feel like he's always going to be there. And I think that he really wants to see a big transformation in your connection. He wants to feel like you guys are at a place where you're at peace, where you're like re-energizing through one another, and you're kind of like bringing this relationship to life. I think that he wants to make sure that you guys are making all the right moves logically as well as emotionally. He wants you guys to keep your wits about you and keep your head on straight. And he doesn't want to make any kind of like emotional decisions. He just wants to make sure that whatever moves are made are very, very thought out. So he's like, I want to put in our connection like a lot of thought behind every single thing we do, which explains temperance. And so for the connection, he's like, look, I want to make sure if our relationship is stepping stones, I want to make sure that we're getting off of the last stone and moving forward to the next one together at the same time. He doesn't want you to be too far ahead of him or him too far ahead of you. He wants you guys to be literally like on the same page every single step of the way, because I think that his worry or his concern is that you guys have never really been on the same page before, and that has been what has been a weakness in your connection. And he's like, moving forward, we need to make sure that we're communicating better, and that we both understand like this is where it's heading and this is where we want it to go. So I think he really just wants to kind of set almost like an outline to what to expect, I guess, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how he is, wanting the trip to go and wanting your connection to go. I don't think he's very eager to get into like deep conversations. It's not his desire, but he does know that it's a means to an end and it is something that needs to be done. And so he's like, okay, like he's embracing that. You said the key probably won't happen until you see him. Hey, Crystal, I'm only accepting donations right now. I'm not doing free reads. But the donation list is also going to close soon. So if you want to get a reading by sending a donation over, want to get that in really soon. And also, the price list is in the description, and the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App information is listed in the link in the pinned comment. If you're here for a free reading, I do free yes, no's generally at the beginning of every live stream that I have. So stay subscribed, and you can try again next time you see me. He's respectful. I like that has me on a pedestal. Oh, very cute. All right, let's take a look at your messages. You said you're taking my advice on having a conversation. Yes, I think that is key. And honestly, I don't know, but he might feel a little relieved if you initiate that. Like I said, he's not like, this is something I want to do. I'm so looking forward to like having a conversation where we confront everything. Like, I don't think that he's looking forward to it, but I think that you both are going to feel relieved after the trip, like knowing that you guys were able to kind of, that will, like I said, be the turning point for your connection. All right, messages from him to her, please. Messages from him to her. I find you so attractive. I miss hearing your voice. I had trouble with intimacy. I hope that you can forgive me one day. The timing wasn't right for us, And I am picking up on the feeling that that was in the past when he says that. Like, it wasn't before, but maybe it is now. It was my fault, but I blamed the circumstances. I want you. I need security. And at the bottom of the deck, oh my God. At the bottom of the deck, I still have feelings for you. I do love you. I hope you feel the same. I want to be more than friends. Okay, so I gave you extra cards, but I couldn't help myself. So that is what I have for you, SB. Thank you so much for your donations tonight. All right, we're going to work on this last reading. I'm going to go ahead and close the list. This is for the Gemini. The Gemini, if you're in here, just check in with me. All right, shuffling for the Gemini. All right, so you're asking, is it his intentions? You're welcome, SB. Have a good night, friend. Is it his intentions to see you this week? I am getting a yes to Gemini, actually. I feel like he definitely has intentions to see you. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Emperor, the World, the Seven of Wands, and the Two of Wands. And in this deck, to me, those are all yes cards. So I feel like this is something that he wants to do. We have the Two of Wands, which indicates to me that he's kind of looking forward to this. He's looking forward to seeing you. He feels like that would complete his week, or feel like he got what he wanted in the end with the World. The Seven of Wands indicates that he may have some challenges or some things that might try to get in the way of seeing you, but Seven of Wands indicates that he will overcome this, that he will literally try to not let anything get in the way of seeing you this week, because it's definitely something that he wants. Page of Pentacles talks about opportunities. So for whatever reason, if it doesn't work out the first day, where are we right now? Friday. So within the next week, right? Let's say his intentions is to come by on Sunday. If that doesn't work, the Page of Pentacles indicates that he'll reschedule again for the same week. So he's basically trying to see you as quickly as possible. And he's pretty set on this. We have the Emperor. So this is someone who doesn't really have any intentions to change their mind on this. So I do think that he wants to see you. His intentions are to see you. And that's what I have, the Gemini. So thank you so much for your donation. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you back again soon. That is it for donations for the night, everyone. Thank you so much for another wonderful evening. I know I haven't been here since Monday, so this was a lot of fun for me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Got to get some things done this evening, but I will see you guys tomorrow For those of you who typically pre-order, feel free to pre-order for tomorrow if you want, but I will make an official announcement on Instagram when I'm officially going to be going live. And then, of course, you can send your pre-orders at that time if that's something you're interested in. My plan is working tomorrow, Friday, which I guess at this point is technically today, also Saturday, also Sunday. I definitely will not be here on Monday. And then next week, as much as I can be, I'll be here as well. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I will see you next time.